From Chestermere, Rocky View.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is always a pleasure to get up and speak to a piece of legislation, even when we're in an amendment on a piece of legislation, even when we're trying to get them through relatively quickly. I think it's important that we take the time to go through them and analyze them and see how we might improve them. I would ask that Statler or Waldorf or whatever he calls himself keeps it down there in the back row while we try and get through this. It is a good amendment because I think what it does is it protects employees so they can protect the very people that we need to. Madam Chair, it is late. That's what whistleblower legislation should do. It's put in place so that we can protect people, so that they can blow the whistle and protect our loved ones. In this case, in these facilities, which is what this amendment is for. To mention, which I think does relate to the amendment, because some of the practices happening at these facilities are worth reporting. It's imperative that we report some of the things going on in these facilities so that we can fix them. And I know from your background that you would agree with that wholeheartedly. I speak through you, and thank you for listening. I always feel like you do, so you fake it well. But when somebody is in one of these centers and potentially receiving inadequate care, and somebody is aware of a system that isn't working, that someone should be held accountable for, we have to pave the way for that person to come forward. And I don't believe that this bill does. Although initially I was quite excited about it, I thought, wow, this is pretty good. Whistleblower legislation, Public Interest Disclosure Act, these are all words that the public likes to hear. I mean, I can imagine the public sitting around, or a husband and wife sitting around a table and discussing that. We've got this Whistleblower Act. Did you know that, honey? Wow, Whistleblower Act, that sounds great. And then you think of 10 government members riding giant white steeds across the prairies up over the hill, trumpets sounding, dun, 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 dun. And then you realize when you read it, wah, wah. It's just flat. So we don't actually protect the people that we're trying to protect. And Albertans see that. And this amendment challenges us, challenges government and us on this side to get together and work it out and fix it. This process would work if we'd actually discussed what was proposed to be amended with a concept that maybe it makes sense even though it comes from the other side. Maybe we have loved ones in one of those facilities. When the Associate Minister of Seniors gets up and says, opposing one bath a week for a senior is grandstanding, he ought to be ashamed of himself. We're all going to have people in these facilities at some point. We need the people in those facilities to feel comfortable about coming forward. I would suggest that that grandstanding comment was probably sent to him by somebody in an office over yonder, because I hope he wouldn't throw that out there and actually believe it. It's not grandstanding to stand up for somebody in one of these facilities. It's the right thing to do. It's why we're proposing this amendment. The amendment reads, a facility that is recognized or accredited to provide insured services under the Alberta Healthcare Insurance Plan. A facility that is licensed under the Supportive Living Accommodationing License Act. And the Honourable member from Calgary, Fish Creek, proposed a couple of extra words in here so that I think more Albertans would feel protected. I've appreciated listening to the member from Calgary Fish Creek tonight because I think she understands the issue better than most of us, and we should probably respect somebody that not only has a personal connection to how these facilities operate, but somebody that's been in the portfolio that she is in, with the contacts that she has. This woman does more research on bills than any of us could ever imagine. I have great respect for it because she doesn't come in here thinking, I need to protest the government no matter what it does. She sits around our caucus table discussing these amendments and begging us to carry on and point out how important they are and the reason that we need to try and get government to agree to change some of these things. And I couldn't be prouder to stand alongside her. And, I just want to get that on record, too, because I think the member from Calgary Fish Creek is so honorable with her representation of seniors. And this amendment would help seniors. It would help so many more people if we would just realize it's the right thing to do. The only way to honor transparency and accountability is to take doubt out of the equation. Well, it's not taken out of the equation here. We've allowed it to be present. And people know that, and people write about it, and they're still writing about it. I was prepared tonight to let those that are driving the specific bill in their portfolios and those opposite to have a discussion, to listen, to learn. But I would say that when one is accused of grandstanding to stand up for a senior getting a bath once a week, it tends to raise the ire of people. And we saw that. So the Associate Minister Senior should be wiser in how he describes our opposition to that. Thank you.
The honourable member.